been 4 days since we started this hat ceremony, so I think I've left everyone hanging long enough and picked the school that we're going to be committing to. And honestly, Auburn has been one of those schools that I know has been on the top of his list for quite some time now. But no, not today. We're going to end up committing to Indiana because honestly, this is a school that really wanted us the most. It's where we're going to be starting up highest on the depth chart, and hopefully we can end up getting on the field as a freshman here in the Big Ten. And there's the commit screen, and again, hopefully we can end up making a difference as a freshman on this team. We are going to have to go through a lot of steps to be able to get up to running back 1. I know right now they have us at running back 2, but as we get in and other players progress, we're going to see if we are actually going to be the true running back 2 or if we're going to have to climb up a little bit more. The good news is we did get a couple perks because we did end up completing that challenge in high school for Indiana, and hopefully that's going to make a big difference as we get into this year. But starting the season, it looks like we are running back number 4. A lot of progression from Harris, Cabana, and Martin. However, we have 66 skill points, and we're going to end up using them right here to improve. And realistically, to start, I feel like we're going to end up upping the quickness twice right here to get up to an 88 speed. We'll continue to increase that down the line. We do only have 2 more to be able to put into that, so we'll save that. But we're going to put a lot into the elusiveness right here because that is going to be a big thing for us as we end up trying to run to the outside and also up the middle. Now, it is going to be pretty important to work on the hands as well because we are going to be getting some screen passes. So let's end up upping that a little bit. And then I honestly think that upping the power once is going to be pretty helpful. I know that we're more of like an elusive back and a receiving back, but I still think that it's going to be worth it. And for these final 5 points, we're going to put that in elusiveness one more time. We end up ending as a 77 overall. And even though we are still halfback number 4, I still think that we're going to be able to get up to number 1 pretty soon. Again, we're only a couple overall behind a couple of the other guys. But again, if we're able to actually practice well throughout the season and be able to get some good coach trust, then we might be able to get in before the end of the season. However, it's going to take a lot of work, and we're going to start that right now. Now, the good news is we should accumulate points pretty quickly, also skill points as well. But hopefully, even if we don't get on the field in this first season, we'll be able to redshirt, and hopefully we'll be able to get that extra year of eligibility. As we end up getting some really good runs right here, we'll cut right back in, and we should have just took that in. Inevitably, though, we would end up getting a gold, and again, if we can continue to get coach trust like this throughout the season, we might be able to get in for the last half of the season. But obviously, we do have a lot of coach trust to gain over some of these guys, as to be able to get up to running back number 3, we need 2,800 coach trust. That's not going to happen for a little bit. The good news is we do have some time to be able to get up there, though. And look at this. Tight end. Hey, the upperclassmen are going to a party this weekend, huh? You know what? I really want to be a staple on this team, and that means that I need to have our teammates respect us and like us. So let's stay in clean. It's only 2 energy. It'll be fine. I'm hoping soon we're going to get some NIL offers, but if we're running back number 4, I don't think that's going to be coming for quite some time. And thank you, advisor. I don't care about school right now. I care about the field. But realistically, at this point, we are just really a glorified water boy. So we sneak through a hole right there. We're going to end up getting a touchdown. That touchdown would lead to many more. And we will end up getting a gold in this one. And honestly, if you're looking for an easy gold, I definitely feel like the rushing attack is going to be the one. However, I know we need to do some other ones because I'm sure other games are going to end up popping up in those running back battles. And even though we are inching up on the coach trust right now, it's going to be a while before we see the field. We're still running back number 4 on the depth chart, and that means that we probably won't see the field in this game. The good news, however, is that we're absolutely dominating here. Our defense has held Colorado State to no points, and we end up winning 31-0. I'm glad we end up picking up a damn good school to go to. But you gotta think about it this way. If we're number 4 on the depth chart here, imagine what we would have been with Clemson or Auburn. Regardless, though, looks like Coach wants to talk to us. And it's great that they're really pleased with us. I'm really happy about that. I don't know what the hell we did, but Coach is praising us. Maybe that means we get in the field sooner. And look at that. We even get a chance to watch some extra film this week with the starters. Isn't that awesome? Yes, it's going to be a little extra energy, but I think it's worth it. As much as I love getting gold in these things, it's time to try something a little different. Okay, I think I understand what we're trying to do here. Oh, that's not bad. Let's go. Okay, get around, get in the end zone, let's go. And unfortunately, we did step out of bounds on one and we only got a silver. So that's embarrassing, but again, that didn't really seem like that difficult of a drill. In fact, I would even say that it was fun. It's something I would actually love to do in one of those position battles. But now we're the away team, and we're actually ranked number 25 now. Again, I think we picked the right school. Although maybe I shouldn't have said anything because we're tied at half with Toledo as they take the lead in the fourth and an even bigger lead too, and I think we are done right here. We get cooked by Toledo. We only score once, and they take down a top 25 team. Crazy. So maybe our team wasn't destined for greatness in this first year, but we're definitely going to get there, especially when we become starter. And it looks like we're going to be doing some kind of event right here, so let's give Coach a polite response. And even though our energy decreases, at least Coach isn't pissed with us. Regardless, it is a bye week anyways, so it's not like it's really going to make much of a difference. And hopefully we can actually pick up some really good points right here too. It'd be nice to be able to get some pretty good coach trust too, because we're still pretty far behind the running back 3 slot, so let's hope that we can end up picking it up here. Well, so much for that, and obviously I need to practice some of these a little more because we get these in the position battle, and I end up performing like that, yeah, we're not moving up the depth chart at all. But don't worry, once we give all these mini games like a little shot here, we'll go back to the bread and butter and be able to get gold time and time again. So I know we're not studying too much, so let's go moderately on this one because we haven't been putting too much into our studies. And let's hope that we can come out the other side with some really good grades. As we're going to be on the road against UConn, who's 2-2. Wow, we really haven't played many games this season, have we? Or they played a lot. Either way, though, let's see what we can do to end up getting up there a little bit more, because even though we're not really playing right now, we really don't want to be ineligible. We don't want that reputation. I mean, we need Coach to know that we're a really reliable player. As I don't know what the hell we're doing here. But let's just avoid these guys. Holy cow, that's actually a little terrifying. I'm not going to lie, that one was actually a lot of fun, but actually got a little terrifying at the end. So, again, hopefully that's not one that pops up in one of the battles. But if it is, then I think we can find a way to still end up winning it. But again, not like we're getting into this game, but it's going to be interesting to see what ends up happening. Really kind of weird start. We get into the top 25, and then we end up dropping out, losing to Toledo. Let's hope we don't do the same thing against UConn. Thank God it doesn't look like that's going to be the case, as we keep scoring here, and we're up by multiple touchdowns. They do end up scoring near the end, but definitely no chance to end up catching us as we win 31-13. And thank God that studying actually paid off. She didn't want to actually tell us our grades, but at least we did pretty well. But we do have another week of just riding the bench, but at least this time we're going to be at the big house. It's going to be a fun one on the road against Michigan. Good luck coming out of this one with a win. You know what? Doesn't look like we're going to win, but at least we're keeping it interesting. Maybe not with a lot of scoring, but at least we kept it close for a bit. But our offense just never got it going there. And unfortunately, we end up losing 27-6. Again, kept it great for the first 3 quarters, but just dropped the ball in the fourth. But don't you worry. We're going to be able to have a really good practice here. And hopefully after this one, we'll be able to move up the depth chart and have a position battle in the next week or 2. But honestly, where we're sitting right now and from what we saw on that last board, it looks like Coach is actually starting to trust our 3rd running back a little bit more as well. So whatever we're gaining, he's getting a little bit too. But again, hopefully we can end up getting up there before the end of the season. And man, maybe I should have paid attention to the game before the game a little bit more, because we ended up jumping out to an early lead. And here in the 4th, we're still up 10. Make that 17, and that should be the end of the game. And we end up stunning Washington and bring them down to 4-2 as we end up winning our 3rd game of the season. It's nice that we're doing well, but not too well to the point where they're not going to be looking to make a change. But either way, regardless, looks like we got a little bit of a quiz here from our offensive coordinator. Now, which of these plays includes 2 pulling linemen? Obviously, that's got to be a buck sweep right there. Now, if we're running a halfback trap, obviously we're going to be pulling the guard. Don't think it makes too much sense to end up pulling the tackle unless it's a power play or even potentially the buck sweep that we were talking about. And of course, which of these formations is a closed formation? Honestly, I am not 100% sure about this. I don't know why I said we would. Honestly, I'm going to go with the one thing that actually includes the halfback because that's what we are. And yeah, maybe I should have just ended up, guessing a little bit better on that. Either way, we get a little bump to the coach trust. Would have been nice to actually get a little bit more if we got that last one right. I mean, I was mostly a defensive end, sometimes wide receiver. So come on, am I really going to know all the offensive formations? Absolutely not. Really, though, that's just a bad excuse for not knowing the answer to that question. But now we're on the road against Rutgers, who's 0-7 this season. Let's hope we go out there and actually beat them. Well, maybe I shouldn't have said anything because they were keeping it close for a while. But thankfully, we end up kind of pulling away here, even though they scored in the last little bit. and we should pick up the victory here. And even though we end up getting up to scraping by, we still end up failing our classes. Well, D's and F's, I guess. Fan favorites deactivated. It's okay, it's not like we're actually in the games anyways. And unfortunately for us, looks like we have a 2.0 GPA. But that's still passing. Coach might not be happy, but who gives a damn? But now that we are about halfway through the season, let's look at the rushing stats. As Martin has only rushed 58 times for 313 yards, averaging 5.4. That's not too bad. 4 touchdowns on the ground. Our quarterback obviously is running a little bit. 154, 3 touchdowns himself. Harris has gotten in 8 rushes for 40, and Cabana 17 for 32. Come on, I feel like we should be ahead of both these guys. Not just that, but we have 12 points that we can spend from all of the practice that we've been doing. So let's end up upping the elusiveness twice. Brings us up to 79 overall. And then we can end up doing the hands once as well, and that brings us up to an 80. We're getting close to the overall, and we're also getting up close to the coach trust. Hopefully after this practice, we'll get up there a little bit closer. But just to give you a sense of where we're at right now, you see we're at 2860, and Cole Cabana is at 3,400. We're getting a little closer. And actually, I did not realize Harris is actually all the way down here at 1,000, so we should have a position battle pretty soon. But obviously, we do have to worry about this game against USC right here, now that we're going to be playing. But still, we crept back up into the top 25. They're at number 10, but we are at home. Let's see if we can come out on top. Well, at half, this one's staying close as USC broke the no touchdown streak. And then we end up scoring. They end up scoring again, and they end up holding on to the ball. We end up going down 22-10. Not the best offensive game, but at least we kept it close against another top 25 team. But look who's got a shot at running back number 3, baby. Let's see what we can do to end up getting up there, and maybe we can actually get a little bit of playing time. Obviously, we want to retain that red shirt, but we'll see what ends up happening. And looks like we're throwing a little bit of a party. Oh, do we break curfew and go to the party? I don't think so. I want to get on the field, and we want to make sure that we are not losing any coach trust. But let's get into this position battle right now, getting up to halfback 3. Again, we're getting closer to number 2 as well. But if we don't win this one, we're not going to be able to challenge for 2. And this is not good. I've not done the extra aggression one, so this one might be a little tough. Oh my gosh, there's 4 guys coming at us this time. And unfortunately, when you have a blocker who's not going to block for you, it's kind of tough to get around these guys. The good news, though, is that we are starting to find some lanes. And if we can get around these guys like that right there, I think we're going to be able to take this one. That means all we need is 2,500 points on this one to be able to end up getting that running back number 3 spot. And even though I botched a couple of these, we're still going to end up taking this one. And that is going to allow us to get up to halfback number 3. Hopefully we win this 3rd one too. Granted, it's not one that I like, this backfield survival. But again, 1,500 points really shouldn't be that difficult, as we end up picking up 1,000 right there. And that will get us the 1,500. Not just that, but we get an extra 600 coach trust, which might actually put us up to the running back 2 spot as well. But again, we'll end up seeing, we'll just really relish in the fact that we end up getting up to running back number 3 and we're climbing up the depth chart. But even getting up to running back number 3, I don't think that we're going to get in this game. Another top 25 opponent, granted, again, it's a conference opponent, so we shouldn't be that surprised. But we're heading on the road. Let's see if maybe we can get another win here. Well, we ended up taking an early lead, but Nebraska came storming back, and we are now down by 2 possessions. Make that 1 with just a minute left. We don't get the ball back, though, and we do end up dropping to them 31-24, you creepy son of a bitch. And Coach getting a hold of us one more time to let him know that he's been really pleased with us lately. That's awesome, which means potentially we can move up that depth chart a little bit more, because I think that coach trust brings us up high enough to be able to be above the number 2 guy. Obviously, that's not going to end up changing this week. It'll probably be the next week, but still, nice to know that it's going to be coming soon. And look at this huge kick in the nuts right here. Clemson, number 1 in the polls at 8-0. The good news, however, is the fact that we can get over 500 with this one. We're sitting at 4-4 right now, and we're taking down Northwestern at home. Come on. Honestly, I might just have to shut the hell up sometimes, because it hasn't been an easy one. Thankfully, we didn't let them score until then, and no way they ended up coming back. No way we ended up dropping that one 15-14. Guys, how did you give up 15 in the last quarter? How did you not score before that? So we dropped to 4-5, and we are actually on the verge of not even making a bowl this season. But we do have a running back 2 position battle right here, And I think we're getting close enough to the end of the season where if we end up getting some games, we still might be able to preserve that red shirt. And no. I have fallen for this before, not in real life, in this game before. No, we're going to use the 3 energy, make sure that we don't fail, because we're already on thin ice because we're at a 2.0 GPA. And look at that! Apparently Chef Sporting Goods is doing so horribly that they need to sign a 3rd string halfback to be able to promote their brand. Now, it is 1 energy per week, but we do receive a skill point, 350 followers. Screw it. Let's take the deal. No one knows who the hell we are. This is going to get our name out there. But time to get into this position battle. Let's see what we can do to end up getting up to number 2 in the depth chart, because we seriously need to get there sooner rather than later. And honestly, with 3 reps remaining, this one was just way too easy, even though we just got tackled right there. But realistically, all we needed was 1,000, and we got that pretty easily. Let's just take our win right here, and let's go to the next one. And God, I really do hate this one, because for some reason, I always end up stepping out of bounds for some reason. I don't necessarily get it, but at least we get in the end zone on that one. The good news, though, is that we are going to end up picking up enough points. And now, just for the cherry on top, let's get 1,500 right here again. And let's win all 3, make it a clean sweep, and make sure we solidify our spot at number 2 on the depth chart. And hopefully get up to number 1 soon, too. And there it is. The battle is won. We get 600 extra coach trust. And hopefully we're going to be moving up that depth chart, again, up to number 1. But the good news is we might actually get into one of these games near the end of the season, especially if we end up taking a big lead or getting way behind. And I actually had to see it to believe it. Kobe Martin, who is running back number 1, 1,600 coach trust. Nigel Cunningham, 4,410. Which means you better believe soon we're going to be challenging for number 1. And this might be a game that we get into because it is Minnesota at home. They are 3-6. We have a chance to end up blowing them out. And don't get me wrong, I'm glad that we ended up winning 35-7. However, I did see a couple other running backs get in the game, but not us. My hope is that that is Coach's way of preserving our red shirt. But come on, man. I felt like we should have been able to get in that game. Martin, Harris, even Cabana got in the game, but we didn't. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little upset about that. But that's life in the big city. But here we go. We got our kicker talking to us. And looks like we get a little bit of extra credit. We'll take the extra one right there. We're scraping by right now. As long as we get that GPA increase, I think we're going to be a little bit better off. But realistically, we really need to focus on this game against Ohio State. They are number 10 in the nation. We are at home, and we might end up getting in this game. Honestly, it's a good thing we're not starting yet. This is not the game we'd want to start. Or we don't. Don't understand what it is. We get moved up to number 2 on the depth chart, and then we don't get into the game. Anyway, we go down 24-7. Again, I'm hoping that's just Coach's way of keeping our red shirt. Look, I know we technically can play in a couple games and not burn our red shirt, but at the same time, maybe he's just being cautious. But either way, we don't have to worry about that now. Running back number 1 position battle, we got a chance to be a starter now. But that means that we need to get silvers on these right here and make sure that we don't end up screwing up, because we really need these golds and at least 2 of them. And now we're just going to be going for the gold for the fun of it. You know what I mean? Don't think we're going to get it, but still, this has been a nice little run. And honestly, I love how elusive this guy is, despite the fact that he just got tackled there. But at least we win number 1. And of course, our second drill is the one that I am just absolutely horrible at. So let's just make sure we go carefully as we don't pick that up right there. And with 1 rep remaining, all we need to do is get that 200 right there, and we end up winning the challenge. Yeah, we would like to end up finishing it as we end up getting hit there, but still, we win. We're going to be a starter, despite the fact that we didn't necessarily practice like one. Ignore the fact that we end up losing that 3rd one, but still, we get 300 coach trust, and now we are atop the depth chart. Hopefully that means that we're going to be getting into this last game of the season. The question is, are they actually going to put us on the field? You saw what happened in the last couple games. We're halfback number 2, and we're the only one that doesn't play. But hey, if we're going to have the first game of our career, I'm glad it's against Purdue. I mean, no offense to them, but I'd rather start against them than Ohio State. You know what I mean? As we end up going up the middle, and we do not end up picking up many, just 1. Not the greatest start because we did have a hole to run through, but we just couldn't find it, and we end up only gaining a couple again. Good news is we can go for a screen. That's what we did a lot. We do not want to motion out, though. Let's just get back to the backfield. It's all right. We'll still get over there. That's not going to be an issue. And never mind. We shouldn't have done that. I need to remember that I'm the halfback, not the quarterback, and I can motion, even when we don't want to. So So let's run to the outside on this one. See if we can get an edge. As we do, we end up trying to cut back. We break a tackle and only pick up 8. But 8 is a lot more than what we've been picking up lately. So let's go with the counter on this one. Let's get that lead blocker. Let's try to run up the middle. And we're already up the midfield. At 4 for 25 ain't a bad start. You know what I mean? This time we're going out for a pass. And he ends up finding him up the middle. Not bad. We were given a moment to rest, and hopefully that means that we can power this one up the middle, as we have a nice hole right there, and we pick up a first. Again, we just continue to have a really good average, as we're going to go to the outside on this one. We do have a little bit of speed, but we end up just getting up for a no gain. Good news is, they end up picking up the first. Now we're down close to the red zone, as we go for the draw, go up the middle, and then it just fooled them for a good 15. And I said I wanted to be a factor in the passing game. Let's do it right here, as we end up getting it out there. And yeah, that's not great. I mean, we lost 4 on that, but eventually we would end up scoring. But now, unfortunately, we are pinned back, so we can get some really good blocks up front, as we just go up the middle. Find a nice little hole to get out of the danger zone. I kind of wish we could audible here, because I feel like this is great for someone to get free on a pass. But we're still going to run to the outside, and he goes unblocked. And now coach kind of wants to wave the white flag as we just go for a halfback dive up the middle. And yeah, we get stopped. Still averaging 5.3 though. And thankfully we still have a lead, but come on, we need to do a little bit better than that, as we just take that up the middle. And yeah, we end up getting stopped for 3. So in that case, let's go to the air on second down. And let's see if we can get a first down, as we do. Again, I need to not make that a possession catch. We need to go with the catch and run next time. But still, great rush right there as we end up getting the edge on the outside. Again, I like how shifty he is, but I feel like we need to get a little bit more in speed. You know what I mean? As we do not get much there, but we cut it up and find a way to get a first. I mean, let's be honest. That play was dead in the backfield, but we found a way to make something out of it. Let's go 2nd and 7. There. Why did you throw it to me that quickly? Come on now. We need to wait a little bit right there. And realistically, we need to go with the pass play here on 3rd and 7. Let's see if maybe we can actually get open over here in the flat, as we should not be doing. You know what? Just. All right, just snap the ball. You know what? How about that? As we get that catch and run, and we actually pick up the first down. A little bit of misdirection confused both teams. And yes, we haven't been scoring much, but honestly, we've been holding on to the ball. And I feel like our offense has been a little more dominant than their defense, despite the fact that we only got stopped for 2 right there. However, we're going to pick this up on 3rd and 3. It's not much that we need to gain, but we're going to gain it right here as we get out in the flat. Oh, no! And he steps out of bounds. No! I was going to say, we were actually wide open. The good news, though, is coach went for it, and we ended up getting it. Now we're 1st and goal with a chance to pick up our first collegiate touchdown, as we're not even anywhere close. But we did it in high school. We're going to do it in college, too. Let's go off for the screen, and let's get our touchdown this way as we just cut up. What was that? And come on, no way we're going to get down to the 1 and not get in the end zone right here, as that is exactly what happens. I can't believe we got denied right there. And honestly, that's all me on that screen pass. That's all right, because we're going to get a big run right up the middle and gain a little bit of that back. And realistically, we are still winning, so that's not a bad thing. Although, getting stopped right there kind of is. So like I said, let's be a factor in that passing game, as I wish I would stop doing that. That's all right. We're going to end up stopping. Where are you running, buddy? You know what? All right, just go out there. Act like you're actually a wide receiver. Go ahead. As we get that on the run. And oh my gosh, we actually might be. Time for a little bit of trickery, though. Let's go for the reverse right here. And yeah, that did not work at all. That's all right. We're not going to have another stall drive right here. We're going to get open across the middle, and that's actually a good game. Best part is we actually have an A- grade for this game. And oh, if we would have slipped past that guy, we would have had a better one. That's all right. We've been running up the middle a lot. Time to go to the outside. Let's see if we can set an edge. No. Well, when you run the ball 20 times a game, it's kind of bound to happen that they're going to pick up on things. As we're going to get this one to the outside. We get a great block. And that might be enough. Do we have the speed? No! Like I said, we need to up that speed a little bit more. That just robbed us again of our first collegiate touchdown. So let's go to the air. We need to hold on to this win right here. As we end up getting... No! How did you throw a pick down here? And that is not good. We're down by 3. Winner of this game becomes bowl eligible. The other one just goes home for the rest of the year as we end up getting taken down for a loss. 2nd and 13. Just don't screw up right here. Ooh, is that guy man-to-man? All right, let's do it. Get it. Catch and run. Oh, we did not get... Oh, we got dragged forward a little bit more, though. As much as I'd love to take this one myself, it's smart to go through the air on this one and hope that we can get it as he does. Mendoza's got to absolutely hate us for taking away a lot of his passing plays. As, oh no, he went unblocked too. Realistically, again, we should be going through the air. I forgot that we're down right now. But realistically, we can pick this up ourselves. Never mind, we're just a little bit short. But here, 3rd and 4, we need to pick this up. Otherwise, we're kind of screwed. And let's go. No! That was just out of reach. And that went to a 4th down. But we got one more shot right here. And let's get it right here. There we go. Get out there. And we are out of bounds around the 42. And if we can keep doing stuff like that, man, I'm going to be happy. So let's see if we can do it again. As it wasn't us, but we get a good gain. But we're starting to run out of time. And only one timeout as well. As, man, they're just backing up. And hopefully we can rush to the line and be able to get a quick play right here. So let's do that. We're going to change this up a little bit. We're going to go into the flat. Let's hope that we can end up picking up something pretty good. Oh, we were there, but that is going to stop the clock. But they didn't put us back in, and we end up losing it. It's rough. We didn't even get a field goal down in the red zone. And we don't even push it to overtime. And Purdue ends up winning that one. And it's a little sad considering the fact that we actually had a shot there at the end. But unfortunately, it was just not in the cards, and we are not bowl eligible. We're going to pick it up next season, though. Obviously, we're going to have to go with some more passing plays. 142 and 1 interception for Mendoza. But look at us. They stole a touchdown from us, both of them. But still, 25 attempts, 125, an average of 5. And not just that, but we are a factor in the passing game as well, 52 yards. But we still have yet to get our first touchdown in college. Realistically, we had plenty of opportunities. We just didn't seize them. We definitely had a touchdown on that screen pass, but we just cut up the wrong way. Hey, look at that. All C's. Not good? Are you sure? That's better than what we had at midterm, so screw you. But thankfully, before the end of the season, we got 12 skill points, and that means that I think we can actually put 2 into elusiveness. As we get 1 right there, we get 1 more, and we're 2 away from maxing that out. We're up to an 82 overall, and I think that's going to help us next season. I mean, obviously, it's going to help, but I just mean from a depth chart perspective. But Austin Simmons, quarterback from Ole Miss, 3,888 yards, 30 touchdowns, ends up winning the Heisman. And thankfully for us, Clemson wasn't in the national championship game. Makes me feel a little bit better about not going there. But Oregon ends up taking down Texas 48-46. And we even had the opportunity to enter the transfer portal, but realistically, we're staying in Indiana. At the very least until our sophomore season. If we really want to transfer after that to a better school, then we can. But I really want to try to take Indiana all the way. And while that concludes our true freshman season, somehow here in our freshman redshirt season, we're halfback number 1 again. Not upset about it by any stretch of the imagination, but I thought maybe they're going to put us down at number 2. We do need to up our overall, don't get me wrong, but still, the fact that we are solidified here at number 1 is a really good feeling. Now, our quarterback this year is going to be a senior, so he's only going to be here for 1 year, and he doesn't look like he's that good. Let's hope that Montgomery can actually develop a little bit, or they get someone else in the portal, or just in recruiting this season. And actually, I just realized we're a sophomore. We didn't get redshirted that season, despite the fact that we only played in 1 game. I don't get that. That is upsetting. So that means that we have 1 less year to win a championship with Nigel Cunningham. And let's hope that we can do it with Indiana, because that's where we end up deciding to go off the get-go. And it'd be really nice to win with the first team that we end up going with. But again, that does conclude our true freshman season. And unfortunately, next year is going to be our true sophomore season. I know we're not going to get redshirt this year. So again, 3 years left to win a national championship. And I think this guy can end up doing it. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to go down and drop a like. If you're new, subscribe. And we'll see you guys next year for our sophomore season.